Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. It is hot as a mofo over here in New Jersey. Oh, man, it's hot, y'all. It's last time I looked, it's 95, and we're going up to 97. And oh, it is hot when you step outside. So, anyway, starting the 3rd through the 7th, there will be a 45% off sale on Etsy, Shopify, and TikTok Shop. So there is no minimum purchase. So if you purchase one item or 10 items, it's 45% off. So make sure you take advantage of the sales. I am restocking, and things that were not listed on Etsy is now listed. So, y'all, we're going to get into Carmelo Anthony's appeal. So he now has 6 attorneys working for him pro bono. And, as I had stated before, there's a lot of white people that seem to crop up every time they see Carmelo Anthony's name, either on videos, live streams, shorts, and they have a lot to say. And some of them, oh, those attorneys aren't going to win, no appeal, or oh, he's not getting out. No, what you are really saying is you fear that he's going to win the appeal. You know why? Because y'all know that trial was very weak and shitty. Y'all did a terrible job in that courtroom. It was nothing short of a joke. And you think that is actually going to hold up. I don't think you do believe that. You know, when it comes down to y'all, I don't pay attention to your words, I watch your actions. When you're overly concerned about something, that means it's something about it that's bothering you. And what's really bothering you, you saw those 6 attorneys, and your soul is feeling Carmelo being released. You know, you did not show everything in that first trial. He didn't testify. Y'all just had Austin's friends on the stand, and you had an all white jury, which I believe already had their minds made up when they were sitting in there. Y'all been weaponizing the all white jury for centuries now. And their only purpose is to put especially black men away in prison, even if they're innocent. Y'all have put a lot of innocent people behind bars. In fact, the all white jury accounts for the majority of the exonerations that occur in this country. That's why I don't believe you should be using all white juries, because the reputation is bad. What all white juries got a bad reputation. And ladies and gentlemen, they fear that this appeal is going to change everything. That's what they fear. That's why they keep popping up in comment sections. Look, you got what you wanted. He's behind bars for 35 years. Why are you not going on about your business? Okay? No, see, your demon soul is convicted and you can't help yourself. But y'all know that trial was not a strong one. And you fear these 6 attorneys are going to turn this whole thing on its head. And that's what you fear. That's why y'all keep showing up. So, y'all, his team has already put in for his appeal. So let's get into it. Okay, let me share my screen. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
They have video footage of the Karmelo incident that they never presented in court. And they just had a press conference of the people who seen the video.
Ask if you want to see it from either 2 minutes before the stabbing or 11 minutes before. So I chose 11 minutes. From the moment she pressed play, Karmelo Anthony was already sitting up underneath that canopy. And he was sitting there for at least 8 to 9.5 minutes. You see, well, I saw a boy in a black hoodie go over to him first, and then they left out of the tent. And then you see coming across the field was another 6 boys. When they got to the bleachers, one, he went out of frame, and the other one sat at the bottom. But the remaining 4, they went directly to Karmelo Anthony. And like T said before, it was a brief conversation, and then all you see is commotion. And we know from the interviews that Hunter did, we know that Hunter was, in fact, up underneath that tent. The next thing you see, you can see Karmelo in the midst of them assaulting him. You can see Karmelo trying to back out, but he gets pulled back forward. The next thing you see is Karmelo. He comes shooting out the back, but he's still not standing. And he had to like kind of crab crawl backwards, and he had to like jerk away from them because they still had a hold of his hoodie. He goes up a couple of bleachers and he's looking around for which way to go. He runs diagonally down the bleachers and then he falls. At the time of him falling, that's when I noticed another 3 boys coming down the bleachers chasing after him. But once Karmelo got up, he took off. You didn't see him for the rest of the video. At no point in that video do you see Hunter holding his brother. At no point in that video do you see those boys ever going back to the tent and sitting down. That was all a lie. And I also have questions. I don't know how the defense did not play that video. Because when you see that video, it was self-defense. Karmelo was only 5'8", 130.
She said that athletic boys was chasing Karmelo around for 11 minutes. These weren't like, the kids that sit in a room all day and play games or live stream. These were athletes that chased Karmelo around for 11 minutes before the stabbing even took place. How come this video wasn't even presented to the courtroom? And the testimonies of these witnesses was so far off from the video that they thought the video was an incident of something else. Now it makes sense. That's why they probably didn't present the video.
So a lot of people are concerned about how long this process will take for the appeal with Karmelo Anthony and the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, if they are asking for a new trial, unfortunately, that post-trial request would have to go back through Judge Roach if they're asking for a new trial. If they're asking to review procedural errors, then it will be assigned to a 3-judge panel in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit currently operates 17 active judges and 9 senior judges led by Chief Judge Jennifer Walker Elroyd. 2 of those judges are appointed by Joe Biden, 6 by Donald Trump, 2 by Barack Obama, 4 by President George W. Bush, 1 by Bill Clinton, and 2 by Ronald Reagan. So who will the 3 judges be to hear the oral arguments to decide if they should vacate and set aside this sentence? I don't know.
Stop scrolling. Karmelo Anthony's legal team just made a move that can change everything. Let's talk about it. Karmelo Anthony's new legal team has just filed a motion asking the judge for a new trial. This is something everyone else thought that they would never do. They thought they were going to just go ahead and file an appeal. Well, surprise, surprise, they filed a motion asking the judge for a new trial. What does this mean? A motion for a new trial is different from an appeal. What the defense is doing, instead of going to the appeals court and asking them to review the conviction, they're first going back to the trial judge and asking the trial judge to throw out the verdict and start over. Now, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a stretch, seeing as though the statistics in the state of Texas on granting a new trial is very low. And also because The one issue that we all know that the defense will argue in the motion is the Batson issue of the selection of the jurors, because the judge sided with the prosecutor on that issue. But that's not the only issue they have to bring up. It could be other legal issues that was not presented properly during the trial that can get them granted a new trial. So we'll just have to sit back and wait and see what this defense team has come up with. And you know, and I know, and the whole internet world knows all the legal issues that was not brought up during this trial. So it is a great possibility that this motion for a new trial could be granted. But until the actual motion is filed, we won't know the legal issues that they're asking the judge to consider. Like I said, Karmelo Anthony's new legal team is on the job. Until he comes home, it is free Karmelo. Drop down in the comments how you feel about this new information that has just come out regarding Karmelo Anthony and his new legal team filing a motion for a new trial. And don't forget to like, share, and follow me for more controversial topics.
I don't know why y'all like to switch up history if y'all are not the most treacherous individuals to walk this fucking world. Just because Wixaurus removes history from the books doesn't mean it didn't happen. Y'all are not peaceful. Y'all are not pleasant. Y'all don't mind y'all business. And y'all are literally a threat to Black people's lives. And history will not tell you anything different. So don't play the innocent factor. Y'all have done way more to us than we've ever done to y'all. And for way less. Have the fucking day you deserve.
Okay, guys, Karmelo Anthony's new legal team, the Dream Team, is already making major moves. Get into this. They've now filed a motion asking for a new trial, and they're also asking that Judge John Roach Jr. be recused from the post-trial proceedings. Now, filing a motion does not mean it's going to be granted, but if the court were to agree with the defense, it could change who handles the next phase of this trial. The defense is arguing that Judge Roach should be recused, while prosecutors are expected to oppose that request. This is now one of the biggest developments since Karmelo Anthony was sentenced. What do you all think about this overall routine? Do you think that they're going to be able to move forward with this? Will Judge Roach still cover this case? There's just so many things that I want to know about, but this could actually be kind of the shift that needs to happen for Karmelo to potentially get his appeal granted and possibly even be free. What do y'all think, though?
Karmelo Anthony's next battle is just beginning. What if I told you the biggest battle in the Karmelo Anthony case hasn't happened yet? Everybody keeps asking the same question. What's going to happen now? Well, here's the reality. This case is no longer being fought in the court of public opinion. It's moving into the world of appeals, where emotions matter less than legal strategy. Karmelo Anthony's new legal team isn't coming to relive the trial. They're coming in to dissect it. Every witness statement, every objection, every ruling from the judge, every piece of evidence is about to be put under a microscope. Their mission is simple. Find anything that can convince an appeals court that the original trial deserves another look. Here's what makes this interesting. Appeals aren't usually about proving innocence or guilt. They're about proving whether the process was fair and legally sound. That's where the battle shifts now. People who believe the verdict was correct say the conviction will stand. The people who believe mistakes were made think this is where things could get very interesting. But either way, don't expect overnight results. Appeals can take months, sometimes even years. What we are watching now isn't another trial. It's a legal chess match. The prosecution believes the case is finished. The defense is betting it's only halftime. And the next moves made by this new legal team could determine whether the story is approaching its end or it's entering its most important chapter. Do you think Karmelo Anthony's new legal team will uncover something that changes the outcome of this case, or is the original verdict going to stand no matter what? I just want to know.
Secret Service Sam here with a Karmelo Anthony update. Now, there has been a team of lawyers, the leading appellate, civil rights, and criminal attorneys that have been hired. They are working for him for pro bono. This is good news. There's the team made up of Russell Wilson, Gary Bledsoe, the president of the NAACP of Texas, Michael Elware, Brooke Cluse, my main man, Ben Crump, Sean Dorita, Justin A. Moore, This is the appellate team who's going to be taking a fresh independent review to determine if a legal error happens. Now, this is great news, you guys, but I have to be honest. The only thing that concerns me about this is, what if they get him off? There will be riots all over the place, but I think justice must be served. And I'm so thankful that they are taking another look at this case, because something just does not smell right. Now, we have to respect the families because there was a young life lost. This is all a tragic situation, but I think if our legal system really reflected for every American, we wouldn't be in this situation. Secret Service Sam out, Samson, president of the world.
Okay, for some reason, a lot of people seem to think that the appeal and Carmelo Anthony trying to get a new trial is to overturn a conviction, to basically fight the fact that he didn't unalive someone. That's not what this is about. He has a constitutional right to a fair trial, a fair trial. And the last trial that he had a lot of things working against him. A lot of evidence wasn't put into place. The jury was more than likely not unbiased. Like, it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Like, yes, we get it. He did the thing. That goes without saying. This is not to excuse the fact that there are consequences to dire actions such as this. But he's going back in and appealing because it wasn't fair. And as a US citizen, as an American, he has the right, the absolute right to a fair trial. That's what this is about. So no, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's not to set him free. It's like, were all of the right questions asked? Was all of the evidence submitted and looked at thoroughly? Were all angles approached? Was every perspective and every angle of this case looked at properly? Because as fast as that trial happened, I can guarantee you it wasn't. So that's what this is about.
Okay. If anything, because Hunter, the other twin, admitted he was the one that approached Carmelo in the first place. He was the one that got the whole fight started. And he should be in jail. Carmelo shouldn't be in jail. Hunter should be in jail. So, y'all, this is definitely going to be one of those things I will follow. And I hope he gets out. Animal Advocate, thank you for the new membership. I deeply appreciate your support. But going back to that same judge, of course, he's going to try to block them from retrying it. So, really, the next best thing is the appeal. I think at the appellate level, they have a great chance of getting the evidence that was not seen in the original trial seen by the appellate judge. So they have a good chance. I think he got a much better shot with the team he has now than with the white attorney he had before that really threw the case on purpose. And he really should be disbarred. I hope that is another thing this legal team works on. His first attorney needs to be disbarred because he did not represent him well at all. But it looks like things are looking up for him, and I hope he is safe. And I pray for his family because I know this got to be so stressful with their son behind bars, and he's never been in trouble with the law. He was a very good student, had a high grade point average. So this is not the kind of person that should be wasting his life behind bars. He should be getting his education. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And don't forget to pick up your hair products, ladies and gentlemen. So I will keep up with this case. And hopefully, I hope he can get out. this year, but I know that may not be a possibility. It depends on how fast they can get to the appeal. So we shall see. Shalom, family.